Hey Amber, how are you doing?
I'm awesome, and I'm just happy to be here with you. So for those of you that don't know, Carol and I have known each other for like a decade. So this feels like a treat for me all the way.
It's just two girls having a conversation. One lives in South Africa, one is in Denver, Colorado. Easy.
Yep.
But before we go on, I have to just mention that I am so like in awe that you were at Marie Forleo's book launch a couple of days ago. How was that?
It was unbelievable. I mean, truly, the online world will never be the same. Book launch will never be the same. So it was for Marie Forleo's Everything is Figure Outable book launch. And I have never seen somebody, Carol, so in their power, so grounded, without ego. She was just polished. She was fully herself. She embraced her silly side, her fun side, her hip hop side. She cursed a little bit, but she was so poignant and so powerful in the delivery of her message. And I mean, all 2,000 people were just leaning forward, mind blown by performance. It was unbelievable. I wish I could do it all over again. I really do.
Because she is like, I mean, we haven't got into our topic of conversation today, but she's like a benchmark for all of us women. She's started doing this a lot, a long time ago. And it's what, from a designer, I can't tell you how many people I've had come to me saying, I want to brand like Marie's. I want to be like her. I want to, emulate her. And it's it's just quite a testimony to how powerful she really is and the impact she has on all of us women entrepreneurs. So, I mean, she's really, really done an amazing job. So,
yeah, and I think if you can look at her as a leader and you can embrace who you are and your own leadership and what your personality is, and you can really bring that out to the world, which is what's so great about your work, Carol. You know, you have designed many websites that are influenced by Marie's leadership. However, you do such a good job of bringing out the uniqueness and the personality of that individual business owner. And that's what we all must remember, that we can be impacted by those leaders, but then we also need to shine our own light. Yes. Otherwise, what are we really doing, right?
I'm with you 100%. It's all about, and that's a beautiful topic to go into our conversation today, about having our own personality shine and really embracing our quirkiness, our, sovereignty, our crazy, whatever we are, to really just own that. And I think the more we own that, like you said, Marie has less of that ego. So it's about stepping into that power. And that's what I believe leadership is about letting go of that, what you are not, to become more of who you are, and therefore giving the permission for other women to do the same thing. Beautiful. So
I completely agree with that all the way. Absolutely. And I try to lead by that example as well. In the early years, it was really hard for me to expose myself, right? I mean, it's scary. We don't want to be criticized, and I'm a really sensitive soul, right? So I'm very aware of that, and my feelings can be hurt easily. And so why would I want to put myself out to the world if it's just going to hurt me? Yeah. But at the same time, I can't impact the world. I can't live my purpose if I don't put myself out there either. And there is a way to do both, I believe.
So Amber, for those who don't know who you are, can you just describe a little bit about what you do and who you work with?
Yes, absolutely. I am very blessed. I work with some of the most amazing people on the entire planet, for sure. And so largely I work inside of the author, speaker, coach industry. I work with influencers, both big names and small names, people with smaller communities and smaller influence. And both are equally important for different reasons. And it was about 12 years ago that I started my website design agency. So we build websites. We're lucky enough to partner with Carol, and Carol does all of our logo design work. And I also support those influencers with a lot of online marketing strategy systems so that they can get their message out in a faster way and in a more consistent and in an impactful way. And then the third thing that I do is actually book launches. And so I've launched more than 30 books now. I made them all #1 bestsellers, and I have a ton of fun doing that as well. So I meant it when I said it. I really get to work with some of the best people on the entire planet, and I really feel fulfilled by the work that I do.
And you're doing some amazing work. You really are. It's about just getting those people out there and getting them seen, which is really what we're talking about today, which is how to create authentic connections. You know, how are the leaders today and the coaches, authors, speakers, how do they connect and how do they create those connections online? But I think first let's ask, why do that? What is the purpose of actually creating a connection online?
Really, really good question. The thing is that everybody is taught right now to automate their business, right? So funnels and opt-in offers, and you can be hands off in your business. That's a lot of what was being taught these days online, but it actually led to a huge disaster online, because what's happening is the followers, right? Me, you, all of us listening, the followers are desensitized and they are tired of being pitched to and sold to and ads all over the place. They don't know who to trust. They don't feel connected. They feel isolated. And so we're actually backtracking, and it's dangerous. So I'm an advocate for developing personal connection with each individual that I come across without expectation. So if you start following me on Facebook or Instagram, or you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I care, and I want to know who you are and what support you're looking for so that I can better serve you. And then it's a win-win. But when you follow me, I'm not thinking, ooh, how do I sell that person, right? It's more personal than that for me. And when it is personal for you too, your audience will feel that. Now, in terms of why you'd want to do it, in order to have the best possible sales success, people need to feel like they know, like, and trust you, right? That's been like sales 101 for many, many people. Need to feel like they know, like, and trust you. That's why I'm such an advocate for doing video. I do video all the time, Carol, because that's the best way to develop a personal connection in a digital world. When I'm on video, you're seeing my enthusiasm and my smiles, and I'm transferring my energy to you. And I'm very intentional about that. Versus if you read a blog post, you're kind of scanning it, you don't have trust, you're desensitized, you're not really in it, and you're not even really paying attention to it. Whereas with video, you're here with me, at least for the most part, more so than in any other media. So it's an important part of the sales process. It brings you more fulfillment, and it makes a deeper impact on your community as well. So it's just win, win, win all the way.
And I feel that with you, and that's why I've asked you to do this video, because even in our interactions, when you responding to me and you are feedbacking to me, it's videos. So it's like I have you in my office, you are talking to me, it's personal, even in your emails. So what I'm trying to say really is that you really embody the philosophy of making it personal, no matter who you're interacting with. And I know that you have a team of people that you are heading up, but yes, you're able to really make each person feel so special. So I knew that you were the right person to talk to about this. I'm so sorry. This is...
Oh, I think you just... Okay.
So we're having a little bit of internet trouble, I think, on both of our sides, but we're going to persevere through this.
I'm ready.
Okay, go for it, Amber. Okay, so the internet has been giving us a bit of trouble, but we're laughing our way through this because it's all part of running an online business and digital business. So, Amber, the big question, I want to know, how do you do this for yourself and for your clients? We spoke about video. Tell me more about creating online connections on an online world where it does become impersonal. People are becoming jaded. What do we do? Where do we go to from here?
Well, that's a really great question. I mean, for me, I think tactically speaking, doing video is the best, right? Actually, just before you and I started this episode, I recorded a 1-minute video for Instagram talking about how I prepare for a podcast or a show interview like this, or how I go out on stage. And it wasn't like a very stuffy, professionally shot, perfect video. I actually shot myself using my iPhone here, walking down the hallway into my office, saying that, what I do is I need to make sure that I'm fully present to this experience. I can't be distracted thinking about, oh my gosh, I've got these emails, I have all this work that I need to do, because if I'm distracted, I'm missing a huge opportunity in this moment. And the huge opportunity in this moment, I can't even fully understand the scope of it, but I have to know that it exists, right? The opportunity that is obvious to me is that I get to hang out with Carol, and that's always great, or the opportunity to get to know you who is watching this right now. And maybe I'm going to say something that is like right what you needed to hear at the exact time that you needed to hear it, so that you can take action and get your message out to the world and impact 100 people or 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people. You just never know. And so if I'm not fully present in this moment, it's a big problem. And I'm not doing my part in living out my purpose, right? So I actually really travel down that road, Carol, in my mind of like, what is the positive and negative impact if I'm not present and if I'm not personal? So one way I do it is through video in all areas of my business. I'll send Carol a video on how I want a logo designed, or giving her great praise for the work that she's done. Or I'll send a video to a client and I will answer some of their email questions. I will send, a video out to somebody that I'm just trying to get introduced to and introduce myself that way instead of over text or email or Facebook Messenger. I'm texting friends and colleagues, but with a video text, right? Because it's more personal. So I definitely think video is the format to use, but in order to get into the place where you are opening yourself up for personal connection, a few things have to happen. One is just you need to be present to this moment. You cannot be distracted. Number two is you really have to trust. And that's hard, right? Because we've been hurt before and we don't want to keep getting hurt. So in some ways we close ourselves off from people. And my feeling is that as scary as it is, and as much as I'm opening myself up to great pain, I still want to be fully open to you, because that's our greatest opportunity for change and impact, and our greatest opportunity to feel love, like the off the charts love, not just the I love you, the off the charts love. If you are closed in your heart, you'll never know that, that's for sure. So you really do have to trust that opening yourself up, being present in this moment, and delivering based on your full authentic self, that's what makes the personal connection. And you kind of have to do some mindset work to get out of your own chattering head that wants to keep you small. Right? Don't do that video. Don't put your hair doesn't look good. That's crazy, man. You just have to be you fully in this moment and deliver whatever is on your mind and trust. And I promise you, the reward is, you can't even put words on it. The reward is so big and it's so beautiful.
And that's about that authentic connections. But my question is, and I know that the viewers are going to think about this as well, at what point do you ask for the sell? Or do you not ask for the sell? Or do people assume that they know where they can find you?
I didn't hear the question fully. So at what point do you or do you not do what?
So at what point do you talk about your products and services in terms of, hey, I've got something to offer you? At what point is it a selling conversation versus just a connected, authentic connecting conversation?
I'm sorry, love, I'm not hearing your question.
No problem, let's try again. At what point or how much of your video connecting, authentic connection is asking for a sale or, hey, come to my website and take a look? So how much of it is a selling conversation versus a, hey, I've got some amazing tips I want to share with you with no, with just as a gift to you, I'm giving these tips to you with nothing else versus a, hey, I'm launching something, or hey, how about a website design?
That's a really, really great question, Carol. And I'm trying to figure out, it's almost like maybe 40% of the time I use it as a sales opportunity, right? You know, it just kind of depends. Like, for example, on an episode like this, I'm just here to give value and build relationship. And my hope is that without me saying it, people think, wow, I really resonate with Amber. I want to go to her website and I want to subscribe to her on YouTube. And I want to share my friend about Amber because I feel like she could really help a lot of people. That's always the hope, right? So I'm hoping that people are mindful enough to want to do something like that without me directly saying it.
Yes.
Whereas I record these weekly educational videos for YouTube, Carol, and I do those in advance. They're pre-recorded. And they're on a wide range of topics, usually related to marketing and websites and launches and that sort of thing. But the through line is always personal connection, right? Social media, that sort of thing. So on those videos, I always encourage people to subscribe to YouTube and to go to my website. Another example is that just following our time together, I'm doing a live stream through my YouTube and Facebook channel. And I do these pretty much weekly. And so I'll usually bring on one of my friends or colleagues and we'll just have a coffee talk, very similar to this. And during that time, I'm not saying, go check me out, go check me out. However, when I launch a website, we will do a live stream interviewing that client and giving them a platform to get their message out to a new community. And there is a subtle, hey, if you're looking for website development, you should go download our pricing menu. Another example is that when I'm on Instagram, like that little 1-minute video I just made, I didn't mention a call to action other than if you thought this was helpful, pass it on. So I would say that probably 60% of the time I rely on the fact that if you like me, and not everybody will, and that's okay. But if you like me, and if you thought that my content was valuable and educational, then I'm expecting that you will share that with others, and you will take action to pursue following me, and we'll have a conversation and deepen that relationship.
And this is a good time to mention that, of course, along with the video, I will have the links to your YouTube channel, so people can obviously subscribe. So I'm just going to put that in there.
Yes.
And your website that's going to be launched pretty soon, so people can get a sense of who you are and who you work with, because you do work with some very, very big names, huge names. So it's just been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Amber. I loved it. Have you got any other kind of feedback or ways that other ways to create authentic connections to a potential audience as well, besides, you know, other ways of using video?
I think it's just really rooted in service and value first. If I wanted to tap into a new community, I would probably want to try to do a podcast interview. I might want to definitely develop the relationship with the leader of that audience first. And that it's not an overnight experience, right? So if I wanted to connect with Marie Forleo, to bring it full circle, I wouldn't just email Marie out of the blue and say, hi, I think I should be on your show, right? Because she gets those pitches all day, every day, right? So instead, what I would do is I would follow Marie. I would start engaging on her posts. I would do the little heart or like it. I would comment on her posts, and not just some stale, basic comment like, oh, congratulations, you know, like everybody else is going to do. Instead, I'm going to try every way that I can to make it personal. So I might say, Marie, congratulations on your book launch. I loved on page 53 when you talked about blah, blah, blah. And it made me think of this experience and this opportunity to impact and serve. And I just want to thank you for the courage that it took you to write this book. And so I would invest a lot of time and energy into making sure that I am being personal with Marie as if I'm talking to a good friend, right? I'm not intimidated by her fame. And then over time, Marie is going to start to think, who is this Amber person? And then Marie's going to come over to my side and maybe start engaging. And that might be a good opportunity for me to send her a direct message that, again, tells her my impression of her and her platform. And maybe at that point, playfully suggest maybe we could collaborate at some point. And then Marie might come back, and if she says, I would really like that, then I might start tossing out ideas right there in the moment. Or I might back off and continue building that relationship and circle back in a month. I mean, you play it by ear, but in order to enter a new community, you need to develop a personal relationship with the influencer first. Then I think through a collaboration of some sort, through an interview or offering some sort of a free video to that audience as just a thank you for letting me be a member of it. There's all sorts of creative things that you can do, but it literally all comes down to adding value first, and service first, being open, and really trying. And the last thing that I'll say, Carol, is that if there's one thing that I want people to remember, it's no guts, no glory.
Yeah.
Because it is damn scary. It is hard putting yourself out there and trying these things. And the first time that you don't hear something back, you start to build this evidence. Like, oh, well, she didn't respond, so I guess I suck. I guess I shouldn't be doing this after all. So stop looking for evidence that you shouldn't be doing this and start looking for the evidence that points to the fact that you are on the right track. And just no guts, no glory. Keep remembering that every single day. And this will work for you. You could absolutely be the next Marie Forleo. The world's waiting for the next Marie Forleo right now.
I love what you've said, and I just want to add to that and just put my spin on it, in that authentic connections take time as well. So take the time to nurture these connections, because they're not going to happen overnight. Maybe they will, but maybe they won't. But the whole thing is about creating authenticity. Does make its effort and its time, and be prepared to do that. And it's okay if, like I said, if people don't want to work with you or don't want to engage with you, you'd rather that upfront versus working with them and then quickly soon
Totally.
you are not a match for each other. So Amber, I adore you. Thank you so much.
You don't need to be all things to all people.
No,
that's for sure. I totally agree. Yeah, thank you. This was awesome.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to take on the challenge. I'm also going to be a lot more visible. You're going to see me online. And I think it's just about that inspired action. It's about inspired action and just doing it. And the voices can kind of just fade into the background from now on. And I hope this is going to be inspiring for everyone who watches.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amber. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.